Hello there YouTubers, and welcome to the video about our 2004 trip to Berlin. This was all shot by my grandmother. Back then I unfortunately did not own a camcorder. And this is a view out of the place that we were staying in. This is the river Spree that goes through Berlin. This is a view that we had. To the left you can see the Sony Center. And there we are. This is the Department of the Interior, which is obviously quite blurry. This is a view out of the suburban train. This is the radio tower, still one of the highest buildings in Germany. This is the Chancellor's office. We're going to have a better look at that soon. That's a random church, I don't know which. And this is the museum, Haus am Checkpoint Charlie. And what you've just seen is one of the marking things that were standing all along the borderline. Now this, the museum Haus am Checkpoint Charlie, is all about the Berlin Wall and the GDR. Back then I was heavily interested into that, recent German history. These photographs are showing the Potsdamer Platz at various points of time, and back then it was all occupied by the Berlin Wall. And nowadays that's where the Sony Center is located. Well, that is the actual Checkpoint Charlie. I don't know if this is all original. The little house right there. This is on the American side, obviously. This is where the border checks took place. The counterpart on the GDR side is no longer there. That was, of course, torn down. This is the Berlin Wall. This is not the original. They rebuilt that in the place where the original wall was standing, I believe. And this now serves as a memorial. And each one of these wooden crosses represents one person that was killed on the border between the two Germanys, including the Berlin Wall. That's what it all says on that sign right there. And this is the Reichstag. This is where the German parliament resides. It is an old building, but the inside has been all replaced in the 1990s. So the inside is very, very modern. This is the back of the building. And there we have the front. Big entrance. And you can see those 4 flags. And the one on the right, the biggest one, that was put up at the German reunification on the 3rd of October 1990. Nice ornaments up there. And down below it says, "For the German people." And that's what it is. And this is the Brandenburger Tor, the Brandenburg Gate, you could call it. Representative building in the center of Berlin. And there it is. And this used to be right behind the Berlin Wall. You could see it from the west side. And it was standing on the east side, but you could not go there because it was too close to the wall. So for many, many years it was completely out of reach for anybody. And after the reunification it was all nicely restored. And this is a luxury hotel, the Hotel Adlon, which is right across the street from the Brandenburger Tor. And this is the Sony Center, big huge modern building on the Potsdamer Platz. And there it is, right there. Very futuristic, as you can no doubt see. But there is a nice little restaurant located in there, and we actually stayed there for a while, and it was quite nice. Yeah, this is this is modern architecture for you. This is a model of the Sony Center. And this is the next day, 14th of November 2004, quite late in the year. That's why the trees are not green at all. We had a railway line going across the street, as you could see, but we couldn't hear it. The house was definitely very well insulated against noise. This is another view out of the back. Nice park and River Spree. Jogger jogging along. Was quite foggy. And this is one of the Berlin suburban trains that are known for causing trouble. And this is a bear. This is kind of an art project. The bear is part of the logo of the city of Berlin. This is the Bellevue Palace. This is where the president of Germany resides.
Reichstag, Bundestag.
And now we are back in the Reichstag, and I already told you they replaced the whole entire interior of the building for something very, very modern. And we're now in a big, huge glass structure that they put on top of the building. You probably know that. We call it the Reichstagskuppel. I couldn't find the right term in the dictionary for that, so that's all I can really say right now. There is a bird that managed to get into the building and obviously does not manage to get out again. Yeah, it was quite foggy, quite humid that certain day. This is the top of the building. And if the weather would have been a bit nicer, that would have been a very, very nice look. And there is me, blurry me. And that's a view outside. That's once again the Spree River. That balloon right there is an advertisement, or was an advertisement, for a German television station. That's once again a view at the Brandenburger Tor. And now we are out of that glass structure and on the roof of the building. And once again, there is me. I did take a bunch of photos back then. I really need to get those scanned into the computer, make another video. That's the Reichstag, once again. And this is where the German parliament is sitting. Characteristic blue chairs. That's a Chapelle rehearsing in there. And this is what's going on in front of the Reichstag. You can see all those people are waiting patiently to get into the Reichstagskuppel. To the right you can see once again the Chancellor's office. Now, we had the big advantage that the person who we were staying with in Berlin was working for the government, so we got in through a side entrance. We didn't have to wait at all. You could see some artists doing their thing, entertaining the waiting people right there. And the building you're about to see is the Palace of the Republic. And there it is. This is where the GDR Parliament was located at, and also was a big convention center. Was torn down. Nobody wants to have the old GDR architecture anymore. Very, very unfortunately. This is the Staatsratsgebäude. This is where part of the GDR government was located. And this is the East Side Gallery. This is the original Berlin Wall, as it was and as it still is. And this is the eastern side of it. And after the German reunification, a bunch of artists came together and they actually put on all these artworks, all these pictures. And part of the East Side Gallery is in pretty sad condition. This part, however, has been restored at some point. And there is one last look at the River Spree. This was just before we were heading off back home. Another look at the Sony Center right there. And that's it. So, thank you for watching.